Welcome to cladding week. So I've already got some of the cladding on. I've got this cladding on. This one has also had one coat of oil. I've got the corner beading on here. One thing I did with this cladding is, because it's meeting the cladding at the top, on these pieces I rebaited right at the top. Just come in here, Dylan, see if you can get a close up. I rebaited this piece right at the top so that it goes into that groove, so that this piece is nicely flat against that piece. Then I've also put on the top two and the metal, what do you call it, capping, so that that now stops the rain coming down the inside. I've done one cut here on the edge, so I've made this level with this so that when I get another piece on there like that, that will become my reveal. Then there'll be corner capping on there. I'm now working my way along here, and I'll show you that in a minute. Let's have a look at the actual cladding inside here. So, some of this cladding, what I've done here, now this is, a lot of people will just take the cladding and put it on, which is fine. But what I've done is kind of sorted out and got the best quarter cut, so the grain's at 90 through the board. That looks the cleanest. I've sorted them into a pile, light and dark. Some are curved, so I've sorted those out, and those I'll use for the top. A few have got knots in. This is a pile with knots in. So those I'll use either cut up, or I'll use those as the soffits so that you don't see the knots. And then some is this like cross cut, where the board's been taken from closer to the edge of the actual log. So those I'll probably try and use up under the soffits as well, and then I'll mix up the light and the dark as we go through the front. What else? Oh yeah, that's the corner beading down there. So this corner beading is in different lengths. A couple were actually split, so I've gone back to see if the manufacturer will send a replacement. If not, I'll just have to glue it. So now what I'm doing now is cutting all my lengths. So I've just got a nice little stop block there, so that I can put a board in like this. Cut to length against the stop block. Then, because these boards are quite short, I think, and I'm nailing them with the silver stainless steel nails. If I go too far to the edge, and it's only a short board, I'm right on the end there, that could split. So what I'm doing is, I've just made up a little jig here, this one that's marked, so then I can just put that in. Get those in the right place against that one. Half put my nails in, pile all these up, and then I can just go out and put them all in one go. So that is it. So it's going well, so it's going to look good when it's finished. I'm going to put you on some kind of time lapse now and see it all in miraculous completion. Watch out for that. So, I'm now cladding the door. So I've got to the end of this part, started on the door. So the first one I cut down so that actually the top of this one carried onto that line, and then I cut this one down so that this line is in line with that line. So that lines up, these line up. Now, and I'm fixing these to the door with the screws rather than the nails, the stainless steel screws again. If the board's bent, normally I'm putting 4 in, but if the board's bent, I'm having to push it in and put more screws in, but that's fine. Now I've got to the edge. So, one plan I had was to have a full board on the door that opens, so that when you open it and then close it, it gives you a full cover. But the way it works out is this board is only a tiny bit left over that would go on the other door, so it doesn't quite work, that plan. So the new plan is take this key plate out, which I've unscrewed, put this one in, cut to the right height, then I've marked the back level with the door, so I'm going to cut this one flush with the edge of the door. Then I'm going to start a new board on this door, but cut off this part, so we'll start flush, start here, and make that probably the same width as that board. So there'll be 2 thin boards, if that makes sense. Very confusing probably. And then what I'll do at the top, once I've cut this board flush with the door, I'll cut this board, but I'll actually rebate this back and make a smaller tongue groove so that when I start the next one, it joins up. This will all become clear, I'm sure. So, let's cut this. So, I've marked the back of the door. I'm using my very useful bits of foam that something was delivered on. I can't even remember what was delivered on there, but it's very useful. So, I've set up my circular saw to run along the edge. So, now this is cut a bit. I've cut the other side of the line so that I can sand it back flush. Also, a little tip when you're putting these in, check there's nothing in the groove. Okay. Okay, so that's good. So now I can sand the edge of this flush with the edge of that. Then I will, once I've done that, I will use something to carry that up there, and then I will cut this one back, rebate this one back, so that the line's in line. Right, I'm going to do that now. So, top reveals are done. I've done this reveal, and now I'm working on this one. So, what I'm going to do, measure from there to the top of the sill. Then I've just made this jig for that angle. That I used to mark that, and then that edge there is the same as that edge there. So I marked this just by holding the board there and laying that board against it, tracing it, and then cutting it out. And then, because these battens are further back than the corner, which I've lost, which is there, this is where these screws will show. So there's one there. So I'm just putting one in level with the hinges. I've just sunk them in. Stainless steel screws again. Then, once I've done those two reveals, all that's left is this corner capping, which I'll just go straight through here. I'll just screw on the inside all the way around, and that's it. There's some kind of little motif or something in the middle, maybe. I'll do the internal corner strip all the way around there, around these reveals. Right, better get on with that. See if this template works. Cladding is done. So I didn't video all of it, but you can see it is done. All the corner trims on. So what I did is, on the inside I left a little top hat element up there. On the outside I had it flush, because that side's flush and it just looks, I think it will be better flush. In the middle here I put a little design, 10 degrees a la Liam at Oakwood Garden Rooms. One in the middle of the bifolds, one in the middle of the overhang, and one in the middle of the workshop. So these are obviously false columns, which you saw me build the framework for, and then just round the back, actually up there, so it looks like at the edge here, up there, it looks like it carries on down the side, but actually around here it comes around here and drops back in, and then the soffit runs down there. So I do need to do something right up there, just cover that somehow. That's the last bit. But that is largely it. The doors, so I just clad the door, so it just finishes like that. So that's fine. The end cladding, rather than having face fixings in there, I screwed through from the inside. So no face fixings, and the same there. And this weather strip at the bottom, I screwed through from the inside. So there's no face fixings anywhere. Even those, what I did with those was glued them in. And I've just fixed this corner cladding just on the inside. So there are some face fixings on the inside, but not on the outside. That's it, cladding done. Next video will be in here. Plasterboarding. See you then.